Okay, and we're online. Good to see you guys back again. Tis Tuesday. It seems to be a regular thing. Maybe I should stop doing this. But nonetheless, I'll be honest, I didn't have much prepared today because there was a little bit of excitement at the weekend. So people are probably asking what's going on with Tom. Tom is alive, and Tom has survived, and he will get better. Tom was mountain biking at the weekend, and he broke his neck, and he went to hospital. It's not the first time that's happened, the mountain biking or the breaking of the neck, but the combination of the two was the first time. And he has been cleared, he's gone home, he's wearing a very stylish collar for his sins, and we're thinking of getting him a little cone, you know, like we give to the dogs, just so he doesn't be eating too much either when he's off. No, but to be fair to Tom, actually, I went in to see him there on Saturday night, and he was looking for, well, he obviously wasn't in the best of humour, which is 100% and entirely understandable. And he was like, oh, I want a little bit of chocolate. And I was like, you know what, Tom, if you only ate chocolate when you broke your neck, you would not be heavy. All joking aside, seriously, we're so happy that he's okay, and it's really important to us that he gets better. He won't be in the gym for the next couple of weeks, months, and I'm not too sure when he'll be back to full form, but he's gonna get better, so that's the main thing really. So, sorry, that was about Tom, so that was a bit of excitement about that. The next thing I was going to do is, I suppose, because I had nothing prepared, I'm just going to randomly pick the last question I was asked today. Someone asked me how many calories I should eat. Now, that is a very loaded and difficult question, and it's very difficult to 100% calculate. I would actually argue it's impossible. Or exceptionally difficult, because to give another example which people don't realise is, did you ever think about how an airplane flies? You know that the air goes over the airfoil and there's a pressure difference, and that's what makes it go up. Believe it or not, that doesn't explain how an airplane flies. There are actually 3 or 4 different scientific theories, and not one of them actually explains 100% how a plane flies. So yes, that is correct. When you were on one of those Airbuses flying down to France for your little vacation, and there is actually no one scientific theory that can explain 100% of the time how that plane can fly in all conditions. We often hear about the little thing about the bumblebee couldn't fly according to physics. Now, that was disproven very quickly. However, they still have not figured out the planes. And that brings me on to my next point. Sometimes it's not important to know exactly where you're at, if you can set a baseline. How they've done more or less what they've done with all the planes so far is empirical data. They've built up a huge database of what has worked, what has not worked. There are certain theories that explain 85% of it, and that does a lot to actually get us there. It's actually very little different with calories. It's not feasible to calculate exactly how many calories someone will need for their day. There's so many factors involved. There's their metabolism, their age, their hormones. Probably, even if you go down to it, your mood and your sleep is going to affect a lot of those things as well. The big thing we're normally looking at is calories in versus calories out. If these two are the same, your weight will stay the same. If your calories out is lower, you're going to gain weight because you're taking more calories. If your calories in is lower, you're going to lose weight because you're taking in less calories. So the easiest way is to actually set something and stick to it. Experiment to a degree, just like they do with the planes. You need to set up your own data. So when people ask me off the bat, just to give an example, for guys who are around 5'8" to 5'10", and they ask me how many calories should I be eating in order to lose weight or have a healthy body type, usually it's going to be about 1800 calories to lose weight. For guys who are shorter, it could be 1600 to 1800. And for guys who are a bit taller, say above 6 foot or 6'2", it could be 2000 calories. Now, I just literally picked those numbers out of the air. Okay? However, if you don't do the 2000 calories every day for 2 weeks, you don't know. So the easiest way to think is pick a number. You can pick one of those numbers I gave you. It's not going to be a million miles off. it's not like I'm asking you to eat 6,000 calories, and there's very few people who will not put on weight when they eat 6,000 calories. I'm sure someone will find me somebody. It's not going to be that far off, and you need to just stick with that for 2 weeks and then establish, am I gaining weight or am I losing weight or am I staying the same? And then it's actually very simple because you have a baseline. If you did 2,000 for 2 weeks, you did 2,000 a day, you got your 14,000 calories exactly for the week, and you didn't lose any weight, shave off about 250 to 250 calories per day, then you will start to lose something. Supposedly, unless you were just hitting that threshold. You do that for another week. If that doesn't work, you shave off another bit. And conversely, if you found you were losing weight and you wanted to gain weight, you need to add calories on. And it's pretty much that simple, but if you don't have that baseline, it is very, very difficult. And this is why a lot of people will stick to the one meal plan and the one diet, because it's about control. We can't 100% calculate how much calories we burn. It's probably the most difficult thing to do. It's a lot easier to calculate what's coming in. And even at that can be wildly inaccurate. So how do you do this? There's 2 or 3 different ways. The old school way was you pre-calculated your diet. Okay? And that's the way the old school bodybuilder used to do it, because it was not feasible 20 years ago. It was not very feasible to walk around and every time you had some chicken or every time you had some broccoli to pull out your notebook and do your calculations to see how many calories you were taking in. You would usually kind of ballpark an idea of what you need to get in and get that in. Nowadays you have tools like MyFitnessPal and you can effectively do this on the fly. And I actually say to a lot of people, like, if it has a barcode, you scan it and then you just put it in and it's actually going to be relatively accurate. Whereas when people cook their own food, they're actually more inaccurate that way. So it's a tricky thing to figure out where to start, but the big thing is pick a number and start with it. For girls, actually, I should have said, we usually say between 1,200 and 1,400 calories for most ladies who would be below, we'll say 5'8", 5'4" to 5'8", and that kind of ballpark would be 1,400. And below that, if you're much shorter, you probably could be lower on calories again, which is, it's actually not that much calories if you're eating crap food. If you're eating good food, it's a lot of food. But if you're eating crappy food, high calorie dense food, like chocolate would be the number one offender, I suppose, it clocks up very quickly, unfortunately. Same with ice cream. So that's something you can try. Sorry, as I said, I usually do prepare a little bit more. Despite my ambling nature and my general waffling, I do try. And I basically didn't today. I just picked something out of the air. So if anyone has any questions, and of course, don't be afraid to leave comments for Tom. We feel it, Tom. And make him feel special. Make him feel warm and fuzzy inside. He loves you. Take care.